Ladies and gents, how are you doing? It's going to be a busy morning today because I promised many of you that I was going to cover the Primrose Hill stabbing, but there's so much crime and so little time. As I was preparing to make this video, a breaking news story came up on X, which was this Bangladeshi fella, Moinul Janu, who was trying to abduct children and, I don't know, sell them into slavery or have his wicked way with them. Who can know with these people? Who can know? Although a 16-month-old is, that's scraping a new low, that one. I don't know why these people are here. Anyway, so we're going to have to cover both of them. I always start with a funny, though, regardless of how appalling the activity of our recent imports is. So let's quickly start with this one, the Primrose Hill stabbing, on account of the fact it's bound to give all of my regular viewers a bit of a chuckle when they see what the foreign criminal murderer's name is. Because, as you all know, coming up with crude, juvenile insults for all of our politicians is something of a speciality of mine, as is inventing fictional African names for the endless laundry list of criminals that move to Europe and murder people. And we've all heard the phrase, you couldn't make it up. Yeah, you couldn't make it up. But it turns out you can. It turns out you can. Because the fella who murdered this poor kid is called, there we go, Oli Uduwada Milola Ogunuyana Kinekinu. And alongside Mati Ungwangpo, my African alter ego, and Umbutu Umbati Wati Weto, I'm almost certain I have definitely made that name up in a previous video. So, either I'm a soothsayer, yeah, I can put Russell Grant to shame, or you definitely can make it up. Right then, to get started, the Met Police have posted that they've arrested and charged a second man in connection with the murder of Finbar Sullivan. As you might expect, he's not called Alan Smith or Dave Turner. No, he's called Khalid Abdullah Quadda of Fellows Road. There's of doing all the heavy lifting again. Of. Not of Pakistan. No, definitely not. Not of Bangladesh, the Indian subcontinent, or somewhere else where rattling your relatives and shitting in the streets common. None of that, no? Okay, Fellows Road it is then. He was charged with grievous bodily harm with intent, violent disorder and possession of a knife. Plenty of appalling crimes there, so he'll probably get about 3 weeks, won't he? Probably get about 3 weeks, because look at his name. If your name has got a lot of Q's and U's in it, you get let off. You get let off. Ladies and gents, that's how it works. I'm sick of making the point, but as I've told you lot for about 6 years at this point, a nation that signs off on pretending that the industrial scale torture, murder and diddling of children, a nation that does that is completely and utterly lost. This is why I'm an absurdist. This is why I just take the piss all the time. We've already lost. You just don't know it yet. And it keeps happening, and it keeps happening, and it happened with Southport, and it happened at Manchester Evening News Arena, and it happens every single time, and every time everybody goes, oh, this is weird, we better learn some lessons, we better make sure this never happens again. The government let foreign men torture and murder children for decades. And what, you think one individual instance is going to make them change course? Are you mental? If you think that, you are mental, aren't you? Because that's a well-known saying. The definition of insanity is to keep repeating the same thing and then assume something's going to change. The industrial scale diddling over decades proves that our leaders are in on it and have no interest in changing this. So why's Finbar, or the bloke in our second story, or Emily Jones, or Little Saffy, or Lee Rigby, or anybody else going to make a jot of difference? Think about it. Anyway, let's finish up before I have a stroke. A man has already appeared in court charged with Finbar's murder. Oli Buddy Waddy Mola Ugunugi Wanganumu was of Southbury Road, Enfield, and definitely not Mombasa or Mogadishu. Definitely from neither of those places. He was already charged with murder on Sunday the 12th of April after being arrested on Friday the 10th of April, blah, blah, blah. Someone else helped the offender and was released with no further action. So he'll be in the news soon. Put a pin in that. Said 25-year-old will be back in court after he's killed someone's wife or daughter, right? After he's done it, and you can't bring them back. And then they'll arrest him, but not a single moment before. I covered this yesterday with Axel Rudu Kanubu and his 20 offence, 8-year history of endless criminality and violence, and the coppers, instead of arresting him, took him home and told him off and asked his mum to hide the knives, but didn't actually do anything about it. And this will be more of the same. I guarantee Mr. Oggy Woggy Woggy Wankball, I guarantee he also has a criminal record as long as the Elephant Man's cock. Although I have been recently informed that was one of the only parts of his body that was normal. So we'll go with as long as the brass neck on our rent boy Prime Minister. I guarantee Finbar's murderer also has an endless list of crimes, a litany of fury. Hats off if you get that reference. Alongside his name from a decade-long criminal career of violence, theft, and, now the cherry on top, murder. It never ends, and it's never going to end until every single member of the Uniparty, all of the big political organisations that infest the Houses of Parliament and the House of Lords, it's never going to end until every single one of them is dragged out kicking and screaming. Until we go through the Houses of Parliament, the House of Lords, and the civil service, and the police force, and the judiciary, like a dose of salts, this will keep happening, and we'll keep on burying the sons and daughters of England. All right? Easy. Let's get to the next one, shall we? Yes, it's a twofer, ladies and gentlemen. I'm treating you this week. Not just one story of death and deprivation, but two. Bangladeshi man detained indefinitely after attempted child abductions in Cardiff. Moinul Janu from Bangladesh. Well, at least they actually said where he was from on X. If this was a BBC story, it'd say Moinul Jali of Yorkshire. Oh, some such bollocks, wouldn't it? In fact, shall we have a look? Here we go. A man who tried to abduct children from water parks sentenced. There he is, fine, upstanding Welshman. Moinul Janu has pleaded guilty to 3 counts of attempted kidnap. That is, you can only guess what was on his mind there. A man who tried to abduct 2 children from a water park has been sentenced to ongoing detention. Oh, mental health. So he's a good lad, really. Definitely wasn't trying to take them home and roger them till their eyes bled or sell them into slavery or anything else these people think's perfectly reasonable behaviour. No, he's just a bit crazy. And of course, he's of no fixed abode because we only import the very, very best. Doctors and surgeons and engineers, the first thing they do when they get here is go, I'm going to forget about my education and my skills. I only long to be a tramp, a manky, crusty, shit-covered hobo wandering the streets of Wales trying to diddle children. That's what all little kids in Bangladesh aspire to be. Yeah, cheers then, BBC. It gets funnier. The following day, so, he didn't get locked up at the time, he was arrested in Bridgend County after trying to gain access to a nursery which had to initiate lockdown procedures to stop him. What do you mean the following day? I'm sorry, I need to scroll back up again here. So he tried to abduct 2 children, got arrested, and then the following day got arrested? Am I missing something here? Why do people, foreign men, homeless, crusty foreign men, why do they, when they get caught red-handed by a maternally outraged water park user, why do they get arrested, told off, and then released again? Why? Presumably, if he'd have gotten away with it, those 2 little kids would have had a fate worse than death ahead of them. So why did they arrest him and then the next day let him out? Are the people running the UK completely brain dead? Well, don't answer that question. We all know the answer to that question. They're conditioned walkies, of course. They're mentally deficient. Up is down and left is right to these people. They've been so ruthlessly conditioned that if someone is brown or black and they commit a crime, they instantly look away from it like Shalob staring at the light of Erendiel's star. They're just forced to look away from it. They can't bear it. It doesn't compute. James O'Brien's admitted it. When he starts to think for a second, maybe I'm wrong, he has to correct himself. He says to himself, no, the ideology is definitely right. Stop trying to argue with yourself. Force yourself to believe the delusions or you're a bad person. That's why this keeps happening. That's why it always happens. That's why Lee Rigby got his nut lopped off, Emily Jones got a throat cut, and little Safi got scattered up the side of the Manchester Evening News Arena because everybody goes, whoa, hang on. We're not supposed to see brown people committing crimes. Quick, find me a pasty burglar from Glasgow. Quick, let's all talk about that for another 3 weeks. Janu admitted attempted kidnapping at a previous hearing. Don't know what's going on here. The mother of one child said the daughter woke up screaming, "He's coming to get me," in the days after the attempt, and we let him out. We went, hey, you're not allowed to do that. See you later. You be on your best behaviour, just like they did with Axel. You make sure you don't take any knives out. See you later, son. Bye. This is staggering stuff. He said he was looking for a job and that he was married with children in Bangladesh, but he was homeless in the UK. So go back to Bangladesh then. Why are we importing foreign tramps? Even if his bullshit story is true and he's mental, he isn't. He's clearly a slaver or a sex fiend or whatever. But even if his story is true, best case scenario, he's merely a mental case tramp. What's he doing in the UK? I don't think we should be importing mental case tramps. But what do you think? In fact, I'm not finishing this whole story. I'm not doing it. Right, to sum up. This is all we've talked about for the last week. The Southport inquiry proved exactly what my conclusions are today, right? Our leaders have been conditioned rigorously, indoctrinated, strapped into George Soros's wacky whale spunk indoctrination machine and turned into zombies who can't see reality. They have been so pathologized by their indoctrination that if a criminal is black or brown, the police, the judges, the lawyers, the activists, the government, the councillors, everyone cannot compute what's happening because they've been told if you're on the victim pyramid, you're the victim. So in their mind, Rudu Kanubu's the victim, Monyul Janu's the victim, and Unibuni Weno Nogi Nogi Wengwo, or whatever his bastard name is, he's the victim and you're the oppressor. Middle-aged woman with a small child now having nightmares, you're the baddie. That's how it works. That's why this is almost boring to talk about. It's been happening for 40 years and it's still happening now and it's still going to be happening tomorrow and it's still going to be happening in 2027 and it's still going to be happening until the hundreds of brainwashed woke cult members in Parliament, the Lords and the civil service and the judiciary get dragged out kicking and screaming. Okay? So get used to it. What did I tell you yesterday? Stay fit, stay focused, stay extremely paranoid and just pray that it's somebody else's kids who get fingered on the water slide. I mean, that's all you can do at this point, okay? But if you think I'm wrong, if you think I've got the wrong end of this stick, please let me know in the comments down below. And hopefully, send me your name and address, and we can put you in the same mental institution as Monyul Janu. And it's, kid gloves. It's fine. It's all the mashed banana you can eat, a memory foam mattress and 4 rubber walls. It's brilliant. So let me know, and we'll get you institutionalised as soon as possible. All right? Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you all tomorrow. Toodle pip. Cheers.